got to sit down with two fantastic women who worked on Star Wars Outlaws to learn more about how the game came into fruition. This is an exclusive interview with BlackGirlGamers.
So I'm Chloe, I'm Associate World Director on Star Wars Outlaws, and I drive the creation of the different planets and also the space regions the players will be able to explore. My goal is to ensure it is fun, playground, but it's also authentic to the Star Wars IP.
Oh, we need to get away from this station.
Fly back to the debris field. Ty's hated in there.
My name is Marta. I'm Associate Art Director for Star Wars Outlaws, and I oversee the visual development of the characters, such as Kay and Nix in ND5, but also the Syndicate and all the scum and villainy that you'll be able to meet in the underworld of Star Wars Outlaws.
Who are you?
Run.
So when we started crafting and the world, but also thinking about, what planets we will allow players to go and visit. We had so many different options because when you start and you look at the Star Wars galaxy, there are so many different planets. Like where do you start from? So we had many different criteria that helped us shaping the list of the planets we selected. So we wanted to have both a mix of iconic planets, such as Tatooine, for example, that players and viewers know from the original trilogies. It has been like a key setting for the saga. But also we wanted to bring new locations, such as Toshara, which is our brand new planet, crafted by Massive in collaboration with Lucasfilm Games, of course. And we wanted these planets, of course, to support the Scoundrel Fantasy. It's the journey of Kay and Nix, and you will embark on their journey to discover new worlds and, steal and fight crime syndicates. So we need these planets to have urban locations, such as cities, to represent this dense and bustling, atmosphere. Also have settlements, but also open world aspect of it. So wide landscapes, vistas, spectacular environments, more natural things players will be able to explore. And of course there is Imperials, because Empire is at its peak at this time of the era. And so all in all, we landed on Kijimi, Akiva, Tatooine, Toshara, and Canto Bight. So it represents a very, like you said, ambitious game and ambitious world. But it's going to sound cheesy, but as a world builder and as a world director, I never had so many diverse environments to work with. Yeah. And I really wanted that, to be honest, to be able to craft not only, of course we have jungle, we have more desertic and savanna environment, which savanna is something very new to Star Wars as well. But within these environments, we have a lot of diversity because we wanted to provide players with a sense of environmental progression through the world. So some places will feel very different. Of course, you have criminal syndicates that also have, let's say, a presence on the world. You can see that, you can feel that. Oh, I'm going to sneak into a dangerous place and locations. So we wanted to have all of these different aspects. So I must say there was no frustration. I think I had plenty to work with, and the team also had a lot of fun crafting all of this. I must say that working in Sweden when it's cold and winter, it was a blast to work on Tatooine. I was looking at the sun on Tatooine every morning in winter, and that was a smooth ride for me.
For the art style, we did dive really into the original trilogy because, Star Wars Outlaws is set between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. It's a very specific era, and like you mentioned, the Empire is very strong. There's a lot of civil unrest. The syndicates are gaining power. And we really wanted to nail that era and that style, that if you would play the game, you really feel like you're playing the original trilogy. And to do that, we had to do a lot of research, and we had a lot of support from Lucasfilm Games, I have to say. They were very supportive in all of our ideas. They gave us access to all the references we needed, old sketches, concepts, so we could get into the style of it. But what we did was we went back to the very beginning of how the original trilogy was created, how George Lucas approached actually the design of the original trilogy, like what were his inspirations, and then go from there. And one of the things is, for example, the different movies like spaghetti westerns or samurai movies that actually inspired the original trilogy a lot. That's also something that we dove into, and you can see, for example, in Kojimi and the Ashiga clan, which is a new syndicate that we designed at Massive. There's a lot of inspiration from these kind of sources, and at the same time looking into recognizable silhouettes, easy to understand characters. Simplicity is key, and definitely a balance between relatability. Like, it's in a galaxy far, far away, but actually a lot of the locations in Star Wars are actually quite grounded and very relatable. But there's always a small piece of alienness to it. So finding that balance and those proportions and working with that gave us the opportunity to create a lot of brand new characters, brand new vehicles, brand new planets. And this is really how we approached it, to really nail that original trilogy.
Make another one.
He's a very important character. We have two main characters actually in Star Wars Outlaws. It's always Kay and Nix. They are inseparable. And designing him was fantastic because he's a new species. He's a new creature that we were able to add to the Star Wars galaxy in collaboration with Lucasfilm Games. And for him, our first inspiration was our pets. You know, we looked a lot at our pets and how they behave and how we have a relationship with our pets and with our dogs and our cats. And that really drove how we were going to characterize him and how his animations would be and how his interactions would be with Kay, because we really wanted to create this duo. They're a scoundrel duo. And for the visual design of Nix, he's actually a Merkle. He's from an unnamed jungle planet somewhere. We wanted to make sure that he looks like he could actually survive on a jungle planet. So he has all these skills. He has quite big claws. You know, he's actually quite capable and can be a dangerous animal. He has sharp teeth. At the same time, he has a soft side, literally as well. His belly is very soft. You can actually pet him and, you know. And for example, for the fur on the belly, we looked a lot at lions, like how is the fur, what does that look like, and can we recreate something like that? And of course, he has the tentacles.
Yes.
That's very, we looked at the axolotl for that one.
Yes. Okay.
But we also wanted him to be able to show his emotions. That's why he has these tentacles. He can actually sense things with it. And in the demo or in the trailer, you might have seen that he can sort of sense around where there's danger and you can see that it's moving. And so those were a lot of these sources of inspiration. And I think we tried to strike a balance between having a creature that really looks like a believable creature and at the same time an alien creature. And that's really, I think, where we found the balance in Nix. And yeah, it's definitely, he's very helpful in gameplay. He can help fetch weapons for you, or he can...
alarms.
Exactly.
Like enemies, steal things, there is plenty of things you can do with Nix. Yeah.
Definitely, but he's also a really, really close friend to Kay, and I think
it's a beautiful relationship that they have.
Massive Entertainment, we do have this expertise of crafting worlds that are rich and deep. So honestly, having the opportunity to work on Star Wars and craft new locations and new worlds and new space system for it was a lot of fun. Of course, it was a lot of challenges because we've never done space before. So we had also to learn from Lucasfilm Games how they would, you know, how to recreate the iconic space and not be too sci-fi either. So it was also something it was a learning curve, but we wanted to provide, of course, a lot of fun to players and making sure they have landmarks to identify in space. For example, you will be able, as you saw during the conference, you will be able to dock into space station. You're gonna find vendors, you're gonna have activities to do there. So you have also something to do in space. You can smuggle contraband. You can have dogfights, of course, because it's a Star Wars game with Imperials and TIE fighters, as you saw in the demo today. So you have all of these different elements. And I think at Massive Entertainment as well, we always think about intention behind design. So it's what drives us is how things function. We always ask the artists when they build an environment or when they craft a props or craft, a character, how would they behave? What's their backstory? How the wear and tear impacted the materials? All of these different details that give a layer, an additional layer of immersion to players, and that feels like it's a lived-in environment, and that it feels grounded and it feels tactile. Like the lockpick that Kay has, and you can have this mini game, but there is a exactly. There is a tactile aspect to our world. It's not only just pretty. There is so many different interactions and opportunities that as a scoundrel you can do and interact with. So this is all the world logic and intentions behind all of this design is what drives us as game creators.
That's a really good question because there's so many cool characters. And of course I want to say Nix. But I am going to say maybe...
For me, it's Denka.
Yeah.
Denka is my favorite. I don't know if you remember her, but
she was in the
walkthrough we released last year.
Yeah.
She's a Mon Calamari, so she's an alien. Yeah. She has a lot of, she's very sassy. She's a broker. She's going to give Kay contracts and opportunities. And I think it's just a great character because it's an introduction to the underworld. She's gonna enable Kay to have a glimpse of the crime syndicates and discover all of the different stakeholders on Toshara. She's based on Toshara, and I think all of the details you integrated into her character are great.
Her design.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.